Hey everybody, Jamie Holroyd here helping you learn jazz guitar. Welcome to the channel. In today's lesson I'm going to teach you how to play a two-feel. A two-feel basically means playing two bass notes in a bar as opposed to four notes. This feel is typically implied by the rhythm section, for example a bass player and a drummer, before going to the normal 4/2 bar swing feel for the soloist within a song. I'm going to be using All the Things You Are by Jerome Kern to explain how to apply the two-feel, but you can do this on any jazz standard. If you'd like to get the downloadable PDF with the tab and notation for any of these examples, you can do so by supporting me on Patreon. Thank you all to those that currently support me on Patreon. All these lessons would not be possible without your support. Let's get into the two-feel. The first step in creating a two-feel is playing two bass notes per chord. The first chord in All the Things You Are is F minor 7. So I'm just going to be selecting the root and then descending to the fifth and carrying on a similar pattern for each of the chords to achieve something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, that's the first step. Let's move on to step number 2. Step 2 is to add chords for every bass note. All I've done here is basically selected an easy chord to grab on the end of one for every bar. So in the first bar, we just previously had 1, 2, 3, 4. All I've done here is added a shell voicing to the end of one. And if you play that through every single bar, then you get this effect. Step 3 is to add one more bass note to the mix. You could get away with just playing what I just played, but I sometimes like to use 3 quarter notes in a bar as opposed to just 2. So taking that first bar again, this is what we've now got. And previously we just had a C there, but I like to add a chromatic note going to the next chord, which is B flat, so it gives us this. Which is almost a quarter note bass line, but not quite. There's a little bit more air and a little bit more room when you play a bass line like this. Let's hear this technique used through each of the bars. And by the way, you'll find that when I'm doing this, I actually find it quite hard to play the exact same thing every time. So I highly recommend looking at the concepts as to why this works and trying to do your own thing. I find it personally very difficult to play the same thing. Sometimes I might go a semitone above a bass note, sometimes a semitone below. It is much easier to make up your own idea once you get the hang of what's going on. Let's have a listen to it. So that's my 3-step process for creating a two-feel. My personal favourite application of this is to combine it with other things, like for example sustained chords, just to add some more movement. You can of course play it with a more traditional 4/2 bar bass line and then every so often go into a two-feel. Then you get something like this. I could keep going like that to give you an example, but I think you get the idea there. So the key is to have fun, use your ears, do what sounds good to you. I think this can be a real breath of fresh air to use in conjunction with that 4/2 bar bass line, because that can get very tiring to play for several choruses on end. So adding some sustained chords and just maybe adding 2 bass notes per beat will provide some nice contrast to that. If you enjoyed this lesson, please click subscribe, and if you like this video, then please give this video a like. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If not, I'll see you in the next lesson.